In China, the central government prioritized broad economic growth and population stability. This may not align perfectly with the goal of local governments. To ensure their own career advancement, local officials set ambitious targets for economic success. By promoting industrialization and raising GDP, they increased living standards and educational opportunities, which naturally delayed childbearing, reduced family sizes, and shaped China's demographic landscape. Let's shift our focus to California's Energy Savings Assistance Program. On paper, energy efficiency programs are a win-win, promising to lower utility bills and reduce energy consumption. But here's the catch. Contractors executing these upgrades are paid based on the amount of work they do, not necessarily the quality or effectiveness of that work. Contractors might misreport the age of the appliance to qualify for replacements, even when the refrigerator doesn't meet the program's criteria. This misreporting leads to less energy savings than expected, because newer refrigerators, replaced unnecessarily, are already relatively efficient. The result? The program doesn't save as much energy as it could, and the overall welfare is reduced, meaning it may not be the best use of public funds. When the goals of the person in charge, the principal, and the one hired to carry out the work, the agent, don't line up, that's the principal-agent problem in action. Such misalignments can bring agency costs. This is like the hidden price you pay when the agent takes actions that benefit themselves, but aren't necessarily in the best interest of you. One of the biggest reasons for the principal-agent problem is what economists call asymmetric information. This is just a fancy way of saying that the agent usually knows about the situation more or faster than the principal does. Because of this, the agent can make decisions that the principal might not fully understand or agree with. Moral hazard comes into play when the agent do not bear the full consequences of their actions, and these actions may not be in the principal's best interest. In the energy efficiency program in California, contractors might falsely qualify newer refrigerators for replacement because they benefit financially from doing more work, but they don't bear the costs of the program's inefficiency or the reduced welfare outcomes. Adverse selection is another tricky aspect of the principal-agent problem. It happens when the agent has certain knowledge or information that the principal doesn't, and this can lead to decisions that are less than optimal. Picture a contractor in California Energy Savings Assistance Program who knows a refrigerator is in good condition but still marked it as eligible for replacement, leading to poor program outcomes and inefficiencies, hallmarks of adverse selection. During the financial crisis, many traders took on excessive risks because their compensation structures offered unlimited upside with bonuses, while shareholders bore the downside risks. This misalignment of incentives contributed significantly to the instability of the banking industry. So, let's cancel their bonuses and give them a pat on the back instead. When ownership and control are separated, as in the case of shareholders, principals, and CEOs, agents, conflicts can arise. The principal owns the assets, but the agent controls how they're used. This setup can lead to the agent pursuing their own interests over those of the principal. Another major issue is that principals can't always oversee their agents' actions. This lack of oversight increases the risk that agents will act in ways that aren't aligned with the principal's goals. You trust someone to handle your business while you're away. They might not always follow your rules. So how do we fix this? One of the key solutions is to align the agent's incentives with those of the principal. This can be done through methods like performance-based pay, where the agent's compensation is directly tied to the results they deliver. Tipping serves as an ingenious solution to the principal-agent problem by directly linking a server's income to their performance. A server who offers personalized, attentive service is more likely to receive a generous tip, aligning their incentives with the restaurant's goal of customer satisfaction. In asset management, compensation often includes management fees, which are a fixed percentage of assets under management. This fee is similar to equity compensation because it grows as the assets increase, aligning the manager's incentives with the growth of the fund. Profit sharing is another effective method. By giving the agent a share in the profits, they're more likely to make decisions that boost the overall success of the business, aligning their goals with those of the principal. Deferred compensation plans are another method to ensure agents have a long-term interest in the company's success. By delaying some of the agent's pay until a future date, you incentivize them to focus on long-term gains rather than short-term wins. Finally, there's the good old method of monitoring. By keeping a closer eye on what the agent is doing, the principal can reduce the risks of misaligned interests. It's about creating a system of checks and balances to ensure that the agent stays on track. Solutions to the principal-agent problem can sometimes backfire when they create perverse incentives. Government interventions like TARP during the financial crisis introduced new principal-agent problems as banks' decisions were now influenced by the interests of taxpayers. The government aimed to stabilize the financial system with taxpayer money, but bank managers, incentivized by their compensation structures, often made decisions that benefited themselves rather than the public. This misalignment led to situations where banks rejected TARP funds to avoid restrictions on executive pay, increasing tensions between government goals and bank management, complicating efforts to stabilize the financial system. Life often puts us in situations where we feel stuck, bound by systems and rules we didn't create, forced to play along. Understanding the dynamics between principals and agents helps us see why these procedures exist, why we sometimes feel frustrated when the system fails, and who truly benefits from it all.